back with another episode of Dating Dilemma. I'm sitting here with author Malik Truth. He's the author of this new design dating purpose book, and you guys have to check it out.
Definitely.
The Boogaloo?
It's your boy DJ Boogaloo. Of course, you know what we do. We do it all day. So we're going to sit there and find out what's going on with the man who wrote this wonderful book. So stay tuned and hear what we got going on.
All right.
All right. So tell me more about how you came to the whole book. Like, what brought you to even start writing it?
Man, what started me to writing this book? You know how they say art imitates life, life imitates art.
Right.
Okay. Well, it was this movie. I was talking to Megan about it a little earlier. There was this movie with Jamie Foxx and Morris Chestnut, and Jamie Foxx played a character where he was hurt really badly in a relationship, and he became recluse. And during his recluse time, he wrote this amazing book.
Okay.
And Morris Chestnut gave it to his publishing friend, and then it just took off from there.
Okay.
Well, when I seen that movie, I was like, man, look at this cat. That kind of stuff don't happen. About 10 years later, it happened to me.
Same way, almost.
Almost the same way, except for I wasn't Jamie Foxx.
Hey, trying to get that Jamie Foxx
Trying to get
money.
that Jamie Foxx money.
Right.
But anyway, in relationships, emotional pain is trauma.
Right.
Emotional pain is trauma. And trauma isn't something that we get over.
No.
Trauma is something that we have to learn how to cope with and work through.
Exactly.
Okay, and this book was my work through process.
Okay.
It was a book that dealt with every piece of erroneous information I had been given as it relates to the dating process. And it just came pouring out. The dog that I used to be. Married women who I used to mess with. I just didn't care.
Right.
But if everybody that I hurt, it all compounded like an avalanche, and it came down on me. So as I was writing this book, I was purging myself and at the same time changing. And that is why I called it the design, because you are actually the design.
I get it.
And there is a purpose and why you should be dating.
Right. Okay, yeah, I definitely understand that. So how long did it actually take you to write the book once you got started?
I'm glad you asked that question, because a lot of me had to be purged out of the book, so it took like weeks for me to do that. And then I actually decided to do some research. Okay, so I had to do some research on other people's behaviors. Because in the Bible it says that, there's nothing new under the sun in Ecclesiastics. And that's true. There's nothing new under the sun, because everything that I had already experienced, or would even think of experience, someone else has already gone through
it or still
going through it. Absolutely. Right. Absolutely. And what that taught me is that there's so much of the same thing, so much of bad experiences going on. People need to understand the right way grandma and grandpa's mom and dad used to do this thing.
Right.
So it was an experience that you've been through that's actually led you to this.
Absolutely. All of my poor experiences and erroneous dating habits just came out. And it was not a pretty picture, folks.
Well, I'm sure after you put it on paper, it definitely
was
looks
not a
crazy.
pretty picture.
Like,
No.
you gotta find how can I edit myself? Like,
yeah, no doubt.
What was the movie Morris Chestnut and them was in where they had the book and he changed the characters' names, but all the details.
Yes, Best Man.
Yeah, so you had to basically like make sure you disguise everything in it. So.
You know what? That was my first instinct. But then the Spirit told me to be forthright and transparent, because that's going to be the only way that your audience will be able to relate to you, is that you be honest about yourself and your baggage.
Right.
So I kept it all in.
Okay, well that's a good thing. So that means when they read this wonderful book, they actually get to almost walk in your shoes.
They're going to get a snapshot into my life, man.
Wow. So how do you feel about that?
I feel wonderful about it, because it's only through our testimony that other people can change.
Okay.
I like that you're kind of letting people, there's no wrong answer. We were talking about that earlier. I love he kind of asks a question, but there's in his book, but there's never a wrong answer. So it's kind of like you're building yourself. You're getting to know yourself because you're answering it. You're analyzing it. There's something you can go back and look at, because there's a place to write it down in the book.
Yes, I actually have a journal in the book. I call it a review journal, because at the end of every chapter, I want my reader, or as I call them, journey takers, to experience and understand what journey they're taking, how much they've learned, and what they can do to begin to start positively altering those erroneous dating habits.
That's good. So that way they can kind of take notes of your story and implement it on what they're doing, so they can make notes and change what they doing wrong and correct it.
Absolutely. And again, not just my story, but as they read the book, they're going to begin to self-evaluate and create their own story.
Right. That's
Exactly.
what I'm
Thank you so much, Macon. Yes, they're going to create their own story, and that journal becomes their story.
Oh, okay.
And it becomes their catalyst, so to speak, if you will, of change.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So how long has the book been out so far?
I actually published it April of this year.
April this year?
And it's been doing quite well. It's actually being read in Canada and India. The one in India surprised the heck out of me.
Wow.
Congratulations
So,
on that, man.
with you writing a book, a dating book, right? What's something like? Are you in a relationship? Are you single?
No, I chose to be single at this moment, just to fine tune some areas that I'm dissatisfied with. Because as the book, it will teach you to begin to know yourself.
Right.
And I believe the more we begin to know ourselves and understand our value and self-worth, we know what it is and what energies to invite into our life.
Definitely.
I like that, because I actually saw something just actually last night. A man without a job, like well, it's not even a man. A boy without a job is not a man, because they need time to find themselves. Like, if you don't let them find themselves, that's how we end up with all these like fuck boys, as we would say.
Fuck boys, okay.
Or, you know,
That's what Trina called them.
Right.
right?
She said that's what she
That's
said.
what she said.
But I think one of the major flaws that we mess up in the dating process is trying too quickly to get to that relationship.
Right.
I agree.
Friendship is a relationship.
It's the best part of the relationship.
True.
Yeah. I mean, but we're so in a rush to get to that point of engagement, marriage, and I hate to say this, but women are more prone to that.
Yeah,
than
that's
men
very
are.
true.
Right.
Though there are several men out there that do yearn for that type of relationship, we have to learn how to slow our roll and become friends with somebody. Understand who they are.
Exactly.
What makes them? What's underneath their iceberg?
Right. And see, most of the problem nowadays is men are getting married to hold a woman as a piece of property. Women are saying they want to get married just on the fact somebody asked them to marry. They don't sit back and think like, do I love this person? Do I see myself spending forever with this person? So if somebody that they somewhat in a relationship with, let's get married, they're like, oh my God, yes. And they never think, is this somebody I really want to be with for the rest of my life?
I think they see the wedding, the whole planning out, like, it's like, whoa, like you have hearts in your eyes, think about the whole thing, that's what you think about. But once you pass that,
yeah, you ain't thinking past that.
Yeah,
like you said,
what
it's the
comes
wedding.
next?
You know, women, have it bad because stuff like Disney, they painted a picture of the princess and the White House picket fence and castles and all this. So women from day one, they groom to be married. So as they get into relationships, their ultimate goal is to get married. Like,
get
I
married,
wanna live
have
happily ever
kids,
after. Right. And then, 9 times out of 10, you're not thinking of, okay, this person I'm with, and this is somebody I really want to be with to the end of time. And that was the difference between our grandparents. They didn't have so many options. It was back in the days, it's like you met this person, you grew up with them, you got into a relationship with them, and they still married to this day. Probably if they still on this earth, they still together.
Absolutely.
We have too many options. It's like going to a smorgasbord. Like, hey, I got chicken today, I got fries tomorrow, I got steak this week, I got ribs, and that's how we relate to our relationships. It's like, well, I don't want to mess with her because she's a little too clingy tonight. I just want to hit it, so I'm gonna hit this one here tonight, send her about her way, and then I'm gonna call this one tomorrow. And that's how we go through life. So we got too many choices.
That's how they work. But I really feel like it's about you have to find yourself. If you don't find yourself first, they can't find you.
Right.
You
like, what are they going to find if you don't know who you are?
And I wanted to show you this, DJ Boogaloo. Right here, it says the design, understanding past, present, and future. The design, understanding past, present, and future. When we understand past, present, and future, we understand that in the past, like you said, grandma and grandpa. Now, even though it seems like we have more options than they did, they had options, but they were taught to focus on one.
Right, exactly.
They were taught to focus on one. Men were taught how to be a man. a husband, a provider and protector
Right.
for the woman he decided to care for and marry. The woman was taught by the women of the house how to be a wife, how to be a mother, how to be that nurturer.
Right.
And along the lines of each generation, that type of teaching began to disappear and erode.
Definitely. That's the reason why we have grandmothers raising kids.
Grandmothers
and
at
mothers
16.
in the club. No. Right. Well, exactly. Mothers in the club with the kids while the grandmothers is at home raising the children.
Right.
So we backwards. We totally backwards nowadays.
Yes.
But luckily, we trying to correct some of that because a lot of people don't know how to get into a relationship. That's why we have dating dilemmas. It's all about finding the problem so you can get past it, because nowadays, if you listen to a woman, they're going to give you the roadmap. They're going to sit there and tell you, I don't like this, this is what I like, this is what I want. And all a man have to do is listen.
They might give you the map, but ultimately, I feel like no one knows what they want. Like, they don't know what they want. And the thing is, like, they might be like, okay, this guy over here, he's 100. He looks amazing. There's that. He has he has on the watch I like. But they're not looking at all the rest. And then all the rest comes, they try to okay, I could deal with that. No, you can't, because you didn't take the time to think about the fact they were gonna come with more than what just the looks.
Well, that's
Just
the
what's
reason
seen.
why we got the dilemmas of dating, finding out how can we get past that. And that's why this guy that sit here and wrote this book to help people like us who's trying to get to the bottom, get back to dating, get back to knowing each other one-on-one versus, let me swipe left on this one. Oh, let me go right on this one. They going back and forth. And that's what dating has become nowadays. It's all about that little 7-inch screen in your hand and everybody just swiping left and right versus taking somebody out on a date, getting to know them. Hey, can we get past the date? Can I walk you to the door?
We've already developed catfishing.
Right.
What about this one? You out on a date and they on their cell phone.
Oh,
What's that all about?
Man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's supposed to be an engagement of communication.
Exactly.
Of effective communication.
Right.
How are we supposed to communicate and get to know each other when you still trying to find out what's going on out there when you should be trying to find out what's going on right here?
Once again, dilemmas.
Well, usually when that happens, I would say they're not interested. And they're just being low-key about it. They don't want to say, but they're not interested.
Right.
If they're on their phone like that, they're not.
Right.
So wait. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I like that.
I want to know.
Yes.
With you writing this book, so obviously you've been through plenty of different scenarios and stuff. What's the most embarrassing dating situation or story you've been involved in?
Actually, it would probably have to be on her end. Going out on a date and again, you're not dissatisfied. I mean, you're dissatisfied and not knowing how to effectively communicate that dissatisfaction for fears of hurting somebody's feelings or how they might respond or react. So actually, I just said I need to go to the bathroom and I boned out.
Wow.
I hear about that, but
that's why you bring your own car to the first date.
Now I know.
Right.
But I was young and inconsiderate at that time. But you could best believe karma came back and did me.
Wow, that's crazy. That's definitely crazy.
Yeah, you could best believe that.
So where do we find this book?
Oh my God, this book you can find this book on Amazon or Kindle. On Amazon for the paperback it's $21.79, and on the ebook it's $9.49. And I also have a 15-page sample read, which I think really gets people in.
Definitely
really
into it
people.
And knowing what your book's about, what they're looking forward to with the reading.
Yes.
Definitely.
So,
I think that'd be great.
Thank you.
With social media, are you on social media?
I am. You can actually find me at Illyas Malik Jekins on Facebook.
Okay, you want to spell it for the people just
ILLYAS MALIK Jenkins JENKINS, and again that's at Facebook. And again, you can find me on Amazon at Malik MALIK Truth TRUTH. And that's how you will find me as the author and my book, there.
Well, definitely, you guys, you're going to have to go pick up this book. From what I've heard, it's a great book. I haven't had a chance to read it, but I will be getting my copy today before this man get up out of here.
Autograph.
Exactly. Getting autographed, so
right.
yeah, got to get my copy going. Women, you heard this man say he's single, so be nice. That's all I can say. Be nice to the guy. I don't know if you want to tell him your age.
I am 50 years old. I turned 50
No.
last month.
Isn't that
No
a beautiful
way.
thing?
I thought you were like in your late 30s, maybe.
I turned 50 years
Whoa,
old last month.
There you go.
Are you? What are you?
I am a Leo.
You're a Leo, but what's your race?
Oh, I am mixed with Mexican and African American.
No, see.
So that's where it comes from. The black doesn't crack.
The black don't crack
don't
unless
crack.
you smoke it. Black
Right.
don't crack
There
unless
you
you
go.
smoke it.
Well, we really appreciate you coming on the
And
show.
I appreciate you guys.
Well, I appreciate you. You're so sweet. Your book, it sounds amazing. I can't wait to read a copy.
Right.
After this, we're gonna get our copy. Maybe we'll go to a coffee shop, and we'll take turns reading the book.
Exactly. There you
Chapters back and
go.
forth.
So once again, you with your boy DJ Boogaloo.
MK all day.
So make sure you stay tuned to Dating Dilemma so you can see what's going on. And once again, this man gave you his heart and soul. Please go out and purchase a copy of the book. And you can reach out if you think the man's attractive and you want to get to know him. Hit him up on Facebook.
Don't do
inbox
that.
him. You know what I'm saying? Just inbox him. Just like, hey, I want to sit down and, get to know more about you. So the man is here just in case. So,
I am open for monogamous dialogue.
there you go. See, that's why we get to know
I got
the
something out
man.
of
Get
it.
to know him. So once again, stay tuned for another one. It's your boy, and we out.
Come, come,